When you hear someone reference the Lost City, what do you think of? Do you think of the movie, or do you think of the city that represents power and ingenuity? What I'm referencing to here is the stone city of Machu Picchu, which is one of the most intriguing archaeological discoveries ever found. Now, many people have either seen pictures or heard of this hidden gem, yet have you ever wondered why it was built and left deserted? As the adventure enthusiast myself, I had to do some research and look into this. So today I'm going to inform you about Machu Picchu's infrastructure, its history, and why it was left deserted. First, I'm going to start on and give you a glimpse on how the remarkable structure has been able to remain intact for over 500 years. Now, most people know Machu Picchu for its overwhelming beauty, but don't know what makes it such a remarkable discovery in archaeology. According to Jeff Brown's article, Rediscovering the Lost City, published in 2001, the city was strategically built on Urubamba River as the city's source of purified drinking water. Now, this river had a canal leading from it that provided sources to 14 waters dispersed throughout the city. The very first fountain was actually built to first be accessible to the emperor, and then from there, that determined the emperor's residency and thus the layout of the entire city. According to Kenneth Wright's article, Inca Foundation, Site Preparation, and Drainage at Machu Picchu, published in 2013, the Inca constructed the city all of carved stone, and they did this without the help of any weapons or machinery made of steel or iron. Now, what's even more impressive is that these stones were carved so precisely that they didn't need any kind of molding inside of them, or between them. So as you can see in this picture, the stones are just stacked perfectly right on top of each other and don't need any kind of binding like we do nowadays with bricks. So what's even cooler about this is, since the site is located on such a steep ridge, it's accessible to both landslides and earthquakes. And even though they occur all the time there, since the stones are fit so perfectly together like a puzzle, they just kind of shake instead of collapsing apart. So that's how the city's been able to remain intact for over 500 years. So now that I've shared with you some of the intelligence that it took to build the city, I want to share with you a brief history behind it. Machu Picchu is located in South America and covers 80,000 acres. And it was inhabited by the Inca tribe for a little bit under 100 years after it was built. According to the National Geographic Channel video, Machu Picchu 101 from 2017, some theorize that since there's no actual knowing of what Machu Picchu was there for, some theorize that it was either a ceremonial site, a military stronghold, or possibly a retreat for nobility. However, since the Inca tribe had no form of written language, there's no actual records that prove what the site was there for. According to Mark Rice's article, Good Neighbors in Lost Cities, published in 2017, Hiram Bingham, a Yale professor, traveled throughout Peru on an expedition and found and located the lost city in 1911 outside of Cusco. He took pictures there and brought them back to America, and from there, it brought global attention to all of its mysteries. Bingham found Machu Picchu on a ridge between the Huyana and Machu Picchu mountains, and this is where the name originated from. He also went back and traveled between 1911 and 1915 3 more times to collect as many artifacts and photographs and anything that he could to try to understand what the city was there for, why it was built, and why it was left in the dust. Now that I've shared with you some of its mysteries and the history behind Machu Picchu, I want to cover its abandonment. So, although the city was built and run very efficiently, like anything, it still had its downfalls. According to Frederick Will's article, Time and Language, The Trials of a Philosophical Tourist, published in 2010, even though the city was constructed to support over 100 million civilians, it was still in some ways weak. The reason for this is because it was built without any powerful weaponry. So if they were ever to be attacked, they would have no source of protecting themselves other than what they have. So when the Spanish conquistadors conquered the Inca tribe all throughout South America, they were led by Francisco Pizarro in 1572. So whenever the Spanish conquested all of the Inca tribes, it's believed that Machu Picchu was just left by the Inca tribe. There's no proof that there was an actual battle there. So instead, people theorize that when they knew that they were being overpowered, that they just left the city since they didn't have any powerful weaponry to protect themselves. So in conclusion, I have informed you on Machu Picchu's history, its infrastructure, and its abandonment. So if you're an adventurer, a history enthusiast, or a sightseer who just enjoys capturing any kind of beauty, then Machu Picchu might just be your next dream destination.